with them raggedy heifers. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Sorry. I'm singing a little Destiny's Child here. I'm some more love, and I'm so proud of you. Clicked onto the second video. I am so happy that you're here. Cannot wait, because in the first video, we discussed my unhauling. I've got to figure this out. This is quite ridiculous. But we've discussed my unhauling for the books that I will be adding into my library for the month of October. And in this video, we're doing a wrap up of the books I read in September. So I have them all right here. I cannot wait to dive into them with you. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. Like I said in the last video, I thought it was 9. I read 9 books in the month of, excuse me, it's so unladylike. Or was it just ladylike? Because why do they say that? They act like ladies don't burn. It's gas, honey. Let it out. Anyway, sometimes I'm sick of myself too. Just know it's okay. Just make sure you click, come back, watch the next video. Cause you know you might be sick of me, but you know you love me. It might be a little bit right now, but it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. All right, so we're in the same look, the same get up. Shout out to Beyonce, the Renaissance. Yes, honey, we're in the same get up. This is the same night. Well, now it's 6:25. And the last video is 5:30. Now it's 6:25 in the morning. Ooh, welcome to my life, content creator. Supernova side. That girl. I don't even know why anybody puts up with me. Let me stop yapping. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, make sure that you like, subscribe, share, all the things. You stumbled upon a video, so like it. You stumbled on the video, so like it, so somebody else can stumble on the video. You know, sharing is caring. This is my wrap up for September. Keep in mind, I don't want no judgment, okay? I don't know what kind of books y'all read, but I read everything, okay? I read memoirs, I read fiction, I read horror, I read nonfiction. I don't really read a lot of that. I read all of the things. Sorry, the hair is, as y'all know from the last video, this was a terrible wig choice for me, and I don't know why I put this hair on. Anyway, let's get into this wrap up. First book on the list, Both Sides of the Fence by M.T. Pope. Now, I don't want no judgment from none of y'all, okay? From none of y'all. You don't know my life. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I want to read about. So this book, oh my God. I'm so torn. I'm torn because I want to give it a 2.5. Let's just start there. I want to give it a 2.5, but I also very much so want to give it a 3-star. This is the thing. The book was entertaining. It was messy. I read the book because it popped up on, damn, I can't even think of what the app is right now. But audiobook. It popped up Audible, or whatever the hell. Y'all know I can't talk, I can't read. I don't even know why I try to speak the English language. Anyway, it was recommended to me, or it was listed when I went into my Audible, and I said, Both Sides of the Fence. And I just clicked the little preview, and it was giving mess from the jump. I said, okay, wait, I'm gonna listen to the audio, but I like to read my books and listen to the audio while I'm doing it, so I went ahead and snatched up a copy. Unfortunately, they only have paperback. You know, I'm not really a paperback girl. Well, you don't know that, but I'm gonna tell you that now. I prefer hardcover, period. I don't want a paperback. It's cute to read sometimes, but I like the firmness. So, this book, should you read it? Probably not. Here's the thing though. If you enjoy a mess, like when I say a mess, it's like an infuriating mess. Like a mess that makes you be like, this is too much. I'm not going. No ma'am, no ham. This is the book to read. This book pissed me off so much. From one of the characters, well, I can just let you know, it is a LGBT QIA plus book. Basically, it is about a bisexual down low man who happens to cheat on his wife with a out gay man. He's playing both sides of the fence. And when you play both sides of the fence, it can get extremely messy. And that's exactly what this book did. This is probably, and I'm not even lying to you, I've read a lot of urban fiction, all of these kind of novels where it's like, ooh, this is not the norm. This book right here is probably one of the most messiest books that I've ever read, if not the most. I kind of want you to read it. And I guess because I feel so passionate about the book, it's not a 2.5 star. I'm gonna give it a 3 star. So this is a 3-star recommendation for me, just so that way you guys know how my recommendations work. 1, I don't recommend it. It was a waste of time. I don't even know why I read the book. 2, it was good. Well, let me not lie. 2, it wasn't good, but it was entertaining. And you probably shouldn't read it, but it's up to you. 3, a solid recommendation. Anything 3 and above, I feel like you should read because it's solid. You can trust a 3. 4, it was almost a 5, most likely, but there was just one or 2 things. Or should I do 1 or 2? Or should I do 1 or 2? Let's do that for the lack of confusion. To minimize confusion. Y'all know, I told y'all in the last video, I just got home from the gig. I'm slightly lit, so my brain is processing at a different, you know. Anyway, 4, there was 1 or 2 things that just did not make it a 5. 5, highly recommend, top list of books. Read it. You should have already bought it as soon as I said it was a 5-star. That's just how my recommendation and my star rating pretty much goes, just so you guys know. The second book on this list, we're gonna take a completely different turn from what we just were at. This book has gotten a lot of rave reviews. This book has a lot of reviews on it. A lot of people have recommended it to me. I've heard a lot of people talk about the book. I wanted to read the book just to see what the hype was about. And honestly, I don't remember most of it. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Manson. I don't remember most of it because it wasn't like a story that we're following along with. This book is basically self-help, but not self-help. I could be completely wrong. Look it up and find out. How about that? Anyway, it's basically teaching you the complete opposite. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, but it's actually indeed teaching you how to care a little bit more. It's a great read. I can tell you, the thing is, I remember the emotions and the feel that I had after reading it. I highly recommend that you read it, even though I only gave it a 3-star. I know, I'm terrible, but I still recommend it. Anything from a 3-star and above, remember. All right, so we have gone through our lower ranking books of the month. Now we are at our 4-star books. These are books that there was just something missing that I could not give it a 5-star, but it's very highly recommended. The first book on this list, I will say this is one of my favorite authors. The reason why I love this author so much is because of a book that they wrote, which I have up there that I read, called Not a Happy Family. And when I tell you I could not put that book down, I said I have got to get into any other books that this author has. And that would be Shari Lapena. And the book is Everyone Here is Lying. Yes, honey. Everyone here is lying, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Oh my God, I lost my hat. There we go. She's a cool girl again. Everyone here is lying. Let me tell you. This was a good book. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This was a very good book. And I almost gave it a 5-star. There was a point in the book where I was like, okay, let's wrap this up. Okay. Yeah. And I don't like when I have that feeling in books, especially coming off of the fact that I just had finished reading Not a Happy Family by Shari. And I thought that because that book to me is a 5-star book, that this book would also reach 5-star material. Now let me tell you, I know a lot of people have read this book and they have 5-starred it, and I completely understand that for them. My standards were just very high. I was expecting it to be a knock out the park. And I don't want to say that I called it, but there were some twists in here that I did call. Now, there were some twists that were a nice, sweet surprise to me, and I love that so much. But this book, basically, it's about a girl who goes missing, and while she goes missing, the magnifying glass is put under her family to try and find her. There's a lot of scrutiny, there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of who's fucking who, and it's kind of crazy. But in a good way. It's a very good read. You have basically a good old suburban story. It's good. It's a very good book. Like I said, there was a couple things that I called, and when immediately, like, a thing about me is if I call the ending, or if I call 50% of what's gonna happen, then, and I'm being very gracious with that 50% because it should be lower, but if I can call it before I read it, it's automatically a 4.5. Automatically. I cannot give you a 5-star if I've already caught the book. The twists were good though. The story was good though. Time to get into this next book that I read in the month of September. And this one was a book of the month for me back in July, and I'm just now getting to it. That's terrible. This was The Connellys of County Down by Tracey Lange, and baby, I really enjoyed this book. I was conflicted. Is it a love story? Is it not a love story? Is it a little bit of a love story and a little bit of a nonfiction? We're basically following a woman who is released from prison, and after she gets out of prison, wait, I really like this. Actually, let's 4.5 this. This is a 4.5 for me. 4.5. 4.5. Why? Because this was a really good, just general read. Like, you know, sometimes you read a book where it's like, oh, this is a scary book. Oh, this is a love book. Oh, this book just felt wholesome. Like, I could watch this. I could read this. I could invest myself into this book. So I highly recommend this book, especially if you're just looking for a book that you just want to read something that's a good read, but it's not draining. It's not triggering. It's not traumatizing. It's not any of those things. It's just a good read. And basically, we're introduced to a woman who is released from prison, and we're going through her welcome back into the free world. And I'm sorry, I know the camera's right here and I look at myself a lot. I'm a drag queen. I see myself. I look gorge. I'm gonna look at me. With that said, she's looking a little oily right there. Anyway, 4.5 for sure. I was gonna say this is a 4-star, but this is definitely a 4.5. I changed my mind. We are almost done. This next book, I am very, very, very glad I read this book. That is 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. This book right here takes place in 2020, and it is about a couple who start dating right when COVID hits. And we've all lived through it, so we all know how crazy it was at the beginning of lockdown. And basically, it's a whole bunch of twists and flips and dips and backbends in this book. And to be honest, it's a 4.52. And as I'm looking at it, I realize that all the rest of these are 4.5s, except for my 2 5-star books of the month. This is a 4.5. This was almost a 5-star book, but I got tired of reading the book. No shade. It was good. It was really good. There was a lot of different viewpoints. There was a lot of jumping around. 56 days, basically, is how long the relationship lasted. We're introduced right away on day 56. Boom. A murder. What happened? Somebody didn't make it. Okay, so now we gotta find out who didn't make it, what happened, what's the tea? Spill it, honeybee. And this book does just that. Catherine Ryan Howard did a phenomenal job of capturing basically the pandemonium that was 2020 and dating in 2020 and how crazy it made people. But did it make them that way, or were they already that way? That's the real question here. So, highly recommend it. 4.5 for sure. This next book, I probably should have read it first, because it had very high standards to like match. This book is good. I just feel like I should have read this first before I read the other book that I did, because this just felt like a lot less developed version of the book that I read before this by this author. And that is one of my favorite authors, Blake Crouch, Dark Matter. Remind me to burn this wig at the stakes. When it came time to finally read the book, I did, and I very much so enjoyed the book. I just feel like it's an underdeveloped version of another book that I have in here, which is actually my top book of the month, and it's actually, this is just a rat-a-tat-tat mess, child. I'm about to take this wig off and just put the hat on. It was an underdeveloped, well, maybe it wasn't underdeveloped, but I feel like the book shared so many commons with the book that I lived for, and I should have read this first. But it's still a really good book. And if I didn't have such a high standard for it, it most likely would have been a 5-star. So I recommend that you check out Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. It's basically following a man who is trapped in a predicament. One day he's in his world, the next day he is not, and the fight to get back to his world is such an interesting journey. There's plot twists, there's heartstring pulling, there's craziness, there's confusion, there's thrill, there's a little bit of everything. And I'm never disappointed when I read a Blake Crouch book, so definitely make sure you check that one out. This is our last 4.5 book of the month, and that's The Black Flamingo. Yes, by Dean Atta. Atta. A-T-T-A. Atta. Dean Atta. Atta. I'm so sick of myself. Anyway, this is such a good book. It is a novel that is completely written in poems. So literally, it's all poetry. And you might be asking, why is it a 4.5 then? well, it's a 4.5 because it wasn't long enough. I felt like there was so much more this book could have went into. And it went into a great deal of information for young adults. Mind you, this is a YA book. So I guess with that mindset in it, maybe they didn't want to go too off the deep end because there were younger minds reading it. But at the same time, no, I don't. We're not gonna put that out there. Y'all could have went deeper. You could have went more into it. So that's the reason why I gave it a 4.5 star. But basically, it is this beautiful story of a young, gay, biracial child who is finding himself, and it's so beautiful to read. There was times where I'm crying, bawling my eyes out because I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. I really don't have anything bad to say about this book. I honestly don't. There's nothing I would change. There's nothing I would do. Well, I'm sorry, there is. I would go a little bit more in detail. Like, I just felt like there was times where the door was open, just walk through it, and they didn't. But that does not take away from what it did cover. All right, we got 2 more books. These are both 5-star books for me. This book, I wanted to give it a 4.5 so bad, but I was like, why though? Nothing that I guessed was gonna happen except for one thing. But that didn't even really count because it was like, I could see that. Did I chalk that up as this was gonna happen? No. So that's why it's not gonna get a 4.5. It's gonna get a 5-star because there was nothing bad about this book. And I thought it was so freaking good. And that would be You Can Trust Me by Wendy Heard. Yes, you've heard it here first. Wendy Heard produced a very, very good book here. This book, it basically follows the story of 2 young ladies who have very difficult upbringings, and they're just fighting and striving and doing all those things to survive in the world. It might be scamming rich people out of money. It might not be. Who knows? Who am I to tell? No, it's definitely scamming. It's definitely one of those, oh, these aren't your average around the way girls. They might be pretty, but they got a couple tricks up their sleeves. And what happens when the trick got them up the sleeve? That's what Miss Wendy Heard wanted the people to read about. And this book had me just the whole time. What's next? What's next? What's next? Just good, such a good read. Such a good read. I wish I could go back and read it again with the mind of never have had read it before. Thank you. Sorry, brain not working. Like I said, been up all day. It's now almost 6:51. My final book of this month book of the month of September that I read. And it's not from book of the month, but y'all know what I'm saying. It's a 5-star. It also has taken, I want to say it's taken the number 1 spot for me. It's in the top 2. I haven't decided which one is number 1 100% yet, but this is a Blake Crouch novel as well. And so many good things to say about this book. It is my favorite book of this month, hands down. And just so you guys know, the last 5-star book that I do every month will be my number 1 pick of the month, my favorite book of that month. And this is my favorite book that I read in September, Recursion. You may have heard it in my last video. I said this is my new favorite book. All-time favorite. I could throw this book at you guys. It's so good. And I'm mad that you're not reading it as we speak. This book right here, it has everything that you need. It was chef's kiss. It was sci-fi. It was action-packed. It was romance. It was teeth, nail biting, sitting at the edge of your chair. What the is going to happen? Good. This book was just, after I read it, I called my mom right away and I made her read it. Well, I recommended it to her and she read it. She also loves it. I can't say too much without giving it away. There's definitely gonna be a video on this, but if you're someone who enjoys, I can't even give too much away because then it's gonna give it away. Because the thing is, what this synopsis says this book is about, it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's way deeper than what the synopsis gives. And oh my goodness, when I was saying that dark matter just felt like it wasn't fully developed, like the concept, the idea was there, and it could have gone so much further. Recursion. This was the so much further that I needed. This is such a good book. I cannot rave about it enough. When I tell you, I was literally crying my eyes out at the end of this book. Because here you are thinking that you're about to read some action-packed sci-fi, but then it has this whole really, really good, deep love story in it that is just like, oh, what? And I'm a Libra and I'm sensitive when it comes to love. I love love. And anytime that I read a really good love story, it just, it does something to me. And this book right here, just know all the good things, all the good feelings. I don't think that I've ever been so excited for a book than how I was when I finished reading this book, and how I am right now. Just like, read it. Like, here, you can borrow mine. I want it back though. Don't play. This book should be on everybody who reads shelf. Go get you one of these. That's it. That's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like a mess, and it's probably because I've been out and working all night. And here I am, the sun's slowly starting to come up, and I'm still working. But I'm about to go to bed. Or maybe I'll eat some McDonald's first and then go to bed. I kind of want some breakfast. I probably just need to go to bed. Anyway, these are the books that I read in the month of September. I hope you enjoyed them. We got a lot of different types of books that were read during September, and that's one thing about me. I'm always gonna read something that is different. Sometimes it'll be LGBTQIA+, sometimes it'll be thrillers, sometimes it'll be romance, sometimes it'll be sci-fi, sometimes it'll be a memoir, sometimes it'll be a self-help. Who knows? The thing is, if the cover speaks to me, I'm gonna read it. And if it's recommended to me 10 times out of 10, I'm going to read it. So anyway, I hope that you guys have enjoyed our video today. Or our videos, because the first video was my books that I'm bringing in, and this video was the books that I've read. Both of these will be out, no shade, today, Thursday. Next week, Tuesday, I will be doing my first makeup video. So if you enjoy makeup, come back. You'll get to see how all of this is done. And it's not gonna be this exact makeup look that I do, it'll be a different look. And of course, it'll be based off of whatever book and the colors in that cover. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Please comment below, share the video, and please, 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 please subscribe. I'm just a little drag queen, a little humble drag queen from Chicago, just trying to make it in the world. So help a bitch out. All right, you guys, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Remember, don't just read people. Read a big. First of all, what was the accent? Second of all, what the? Don't just read people. Read a book, bitch.